This one's for all of us who use a 16-35 zoom exclusively at the 16mm end. Behold, a 16mm G prime. Only one more inconceivably small yet excellent lens from Sony, and here's 6 things you need to know about their new full-frame 16mm f1.8 G. First thing is how incredibly little this weighs. 304 grams makes this even lighter than the 20mm f1.8 G, which was already considered a superbly nimble lens. Size-wise, the new 16 is also even smaller than the already small 20. And we're talking about a bright f1.8 ultra-wide lens. That does not typically come with the expectation of being small and light, and certainly not this small and this light. Despite the size, it still gets the full hardware switch treatment, including the iris lock switch, single focus hold button on camera left, and fully internal focusing. Speaking of which, thing number 2 is this is one of those Sony lenses which can focus closer if you do it in manual focus. Autofocus comes as close as 15 centimeters, but manual focus can pull you in to 13 centimeters close focus for a magnification ratio of 0.3 times life size. That's actually close enough that most of the time you do go minimum focus, you get the lens's own shadow in your shot, partially also due to how wide 16mm is, and when you do go that close with an f1.8, the depth of field was a bit shallower than what I was mentally prepared for coming out of an ultra-wide. Something else that caught me quite off guard is the autofocus in this little lens is driven by the good stuff, XD linear motors. 2 of them in this little guy. Typically, autofocus is already not the biggest thing to worry about on ultrawides, but now that it's being driven by the same tech driving G-Masters, there's likely not gonna be much to worry about. So is the case when it comes to focus breathing, because item number 4 is how there's optically rather little focus breathing present on this 16mm prime. The lens still is compatible with in-body focus breathing compensation, but benefits of not having much focus breathing to begin with means you do get much less of a crop when you do enable compensation. Item number 5 is the obligatory image quality rundown. Wide open, there's a bit of vignetting which falls away as you stop down towards f2.8. Wide open resolution is great, and even if you're being nitpicky into the corners, it actually holds up quite well at f1.8. Chromatic aberration is incredibly well suppressed on this lens, and being a fast ultra-wide puts this very much on the table for astrophotography. So I whipped out the whole in-foil setup to test for chroma. Please excuse my lack of stargazing, but chromatic aberration is very well controlled on the 16 1.8. And to close off with item number 6 is one of the nicest things to hear about an ultra-wide-angle lens, and that's the modest 67mm screw-on filter thread. Yes, it's got filter threads, and it's not even big. It's quite an advantage over even the 14 G-Master, which is an incredible lens, but not compatible with front filters. So that's 6 things which makes this quite a delightful little G lens. This will be launching in Malaysia for just under 4,000 ringgit, so definitely under $1,000 US. Links below for anyone interested, and I'll be seeing you around.